This is Shelley Craft coming to you live on SNNLive. We're at the Sprott Natural Resource Symposium 2016 here in Vancouver. I am with Gregory Beischer, Millrock Resources Inc. It's a publicly traded company, and the symbol is MRO on the TSX Venture and MLRKF in the U.S. Welcome back to SNNLive.
Thanks very much, Shelley. It's great to be at this conference again. I was here last year, and I'd say it's actually an honor to be at this conference. There's 58 companies here, all hand-selected by the Sprott Group. They've invested in all of us, and I really don't think you can go wrong with any of them, but I'm very happy that Millrock's counted amongst this elite group of companies.
I would be proud of that as well. Let's start out with an overview on the company, and then we'll go from there.
Sure. So as you recall, Millrock is a generative exploration company. It's a project generator company. Alaska's our home base. That's the state I live in and one that I know very well, but we've made two new jurisdictions, Sonora State, Mexico, and the Golden Triangle area of British Columbia. So let
me stop you. We're going to get back to that. A year ago, you were standing where you are today. There was a lot of gloom. There weren't as many smiles. People were dragging. It had been the fifth year of a pretty big downturn in the market. You, though, stood out as being very optimistic. First of all, what did you know that no one else knew?
Well, let me tell you, Shelley, I was very optimistic, but there was a lot of nervousness inside. My feeling was we had been in a bear market for almost 5 years, and it sort of stood to reason to me that we should be near the end, but by no means could I be sure. But we took a gamble right after we last spoke. We bought an entire Mexican exploration company with 12 quality projects in it, and I made a big move into the Stewart Triangle, Golden Triangle camp in British Columbia by consolidating 3 large land positions. Took 10 different agreements to put these packages together. But these were big moves for us with a fairly small treasury at the time. So we took our chance, and as it turns out, it looks like our timing was just right.
Well, by all sense of the imagination, obviously the market has lifted from the mat, so to speak. So what else is going on in Millrock? Let's get into some of the resources.
Sure. So we're very good at generating projects, quality ones, but the real measure of a project generator is how many funding partners they generate. So right now, Millrock has 3 partners that are funding work on our projects. In Mexico, Centerra Gold has stepped up, and they're an aggressive company. They liked our projects, and they've taken on 2 of them so far. We're operating under their direction and with their funding. In Alaska, the great Australian gold miner Newcrest is funding work. We've developed a pretty darn good project there adjacent to the Pogo mine that's operated by Sumitomo. We really like what we're seeing, and that's a great project as well. Vista Minerals, small Australian companies, picked up optioned one of our projects also in Alaska that has a nice high-grade copper-gold resource, and they intend to drill it this summer, so we're looking forward to those results as well. I'm on the hunt for a partner for our new Golden Triangle properties. These are properties that are probably base metals, but with a very high precious metal content, like the great SK Creek deposit. It's in that same area, and we're hopeful to find a deposit just like that one.
Are you still optimistic?
I'm more optimistic now than I've ever been in the entire 8-year history of Millrock. We have now a very mature company. We know what we're doing, a fantastic team, and 30 quality projects that are being funded by other companies.
Mention a little bit about the team.
Sure. You know, my partner Phil St. George, he's a great geologist with some great success. As a young man at 26 years old, he's the fellow who stamped his foot in the ground and said, drill here, and it turned out to be the Pebble copper gold moly deposit in Alaska, one of the greatest accumulations of metals on the earth. He was also VPX for Nova Gold in its earliest years and helped take the Donlin Creek project from just a couple million ounces to almost 20 million. So he sure knows what he's doing, and between the two of us, we're really prolific at generating new ideas and opportunities that major mining companies are willing to step up and fund. But there's a lot more to it than that. It's a complex business model. There's a lot of land to manage, permitting, and we do all these things internally, and we have to be really good at it. If companies like Teck or Kinross or Centerra Gold are going to trust us with millions of dollars, we really got to do the job right. So we operate at a very high level of safety, community relations, that sort of thing as well. So there's a lot more to it than the average junior exploration company.
From my standpoint, where I'm sitting today, and you're standing, we're standing together, of course, 2 years now, down the road, subject to commodities at least not falling out again, where do you see, what would be a great milestone to achieve for Millrock?
Yep. As I mentioned, we already have 3 partners funding work on our projects. The first project will be drilled, to receive drilling will start in September. My goal over the next 2 years is to have a drill turning on one project or the other, whether it's in Alaska, BC, or Mexico, through that whole 2 years. And as you know, for an early stage explorer like us, every drill hole presents that possibility that we'll make a brand new early stage discovery. Those are the ones that truly create shareholder value, something that can take us from our current level of 50 cents to $5, and in my wildest imagination, $50.
Greg, let's get your website out there for our investor audience so they can catch up with you and more information.
Yeah, sure. It's www.millrockresources.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, Greg Beischer, Millrock Resources Inc. It's a publicly traded company. Here's 2 symbols, MRO on the TSX Venture, MLRKF in the US. I'm Shelley Craft, this is SNNLive, and we're coming to you live from the Sprott Natural Resource Symposium 2016 here in Vancouver, BC. Greg, always a pleasure.
Likewise, Shelley.